Okay guys, Kevin Dye Painting. So I spoke to you today, Julie, so let me, I like to kind of do a little bit of a walkthrough. Yeah, decks are definitely in need, but I'll just, like I said, we can just put that stuff a la carte. I'm not sure what product has been being used, but it's obviously not working, and it's got some pretty good, deterioration, so, long day down in Hathaway Pines and in Murphy's. I'll just kind of explain what we do. So obviously first thing is we kind of like make sure that everything's off the building, lights, any of the knickknacks, stuff like that. We try to make sure we have a clean area in which to work from. So this basically is kind of what you see a lot up here, unfortunately, especially this year. We just got so much water. It has been just one of those things, but it looks like standard paint. It actually appears to possibly have been a stain at one time, but we can just go ahead and do a paint over the top of it. We use the best Kelly-Moore or the best Dunn Edwards paints that they make. I prefer those two companies only, just because of the fact that they really back up their products, and it's just really good stuff. So all this stuff is pretty basic. You know, it's probably at that age where it does appear to have been a water-based stain. So my suggestion would be we find a color that we could go over the top of it, and we kind of go from there. Water-based stain does this. It's basically a paint that is watered down, and they call it a stain. Basically, all of our stains are oil. Now, some of my issues that I have on some of these older ones is if you run into this type of stuff in there. I know it's probably hard to see, but that's mold, and when that mold gets into those eaves, it's very hard for us to remove it. Now, we can sand it all out. We can definitely use bleach, and we can use all the different stuff that we use, but the reality is that once it's in there, it's kind of always in there, and it was kind of a flaw when they built these houses, unfortunately. So what I tend to do is I try to take the eaves of the property, and I take this body color and I take it up through there, and then I just do a trim color on the fascia if money is an option. Now, we can do exactly the same thing that you guys have now. Oh yeah, these guys are, yeah, I would definitely consider, if you guys are doing them or we're doing them, you're going to end up in some deck repair rather quickly. These guys are basically open to the elements. But so here's kind of what we run into. You know, obviously the stain that they put on the fascia is due. So underneath here, it can kind of go a bunch of different ways. You know, if we trim the house out, there's all the stuff we can do, and it's unlimited, but I try to save people money, and that's why often what I do is I'll take the body color of the house and take it up under the eaves and around the back, so that it's kind of goes back to there, and then that way we can do a color for the trim and make it, you know, have your accents, have it pop, but it saves you a lot of money. Because now I don't mind coming in on this stuff and brushing a varnish and cleaning it really well and having the 3-color body, bare wood, and fascia. I don't mind doing that, so I can write that up as well, and we do that work a lot too. But it just seems like it's usually it's very high maintenance up here, and it's expensive. It's expensive to do. So so when it comes to our prep, we prep everything. We caulk in every line on the building. We caulk in everything. The main objective is to make sure that there's zero water that can actually get through, because water is what's going to make it fail. The water is what's making your dot mold everywhere. All lights are removed before we paint, and then obviously reinstalled. So that's a big thing too. Easy stuff. This stuff could be a little tricky, kind of a little bit of a pain getting up in there. It's cool that they have the old shake shingles there, but again, you know, under here, not too bad. Some of it kind of is. It's just going to be one of those things. There's a lot of great colors, and these are these are great houses. So doors, we do all the doors, and we do those as semi-gloss. Everything else is a low sheen. Let me think what else we're looking at here. All trim is caulked in, like everything. These guys, all that stuff's caulked in. That's the main objective, is to get it just impervious to the elements, because if we don't, then we always end up in a situation where we're fixing stuff. We have a 2-year unlimited warranty. We don't like to use it. I really like to do everything really nice so that I can walk away and be very happy. Pretty basic stuff. I mean, we do a ton of these. I've done this body style, probably 100 of these. I probably have 10 just on this stretch of Shoshone I've done. But yeah, that's going to be our issue. So what I usually try to say is that we should take that into a paint and save you, because it's pretty bad. I mean, we could easily spend 3 or 4 guys could spend the week sanding, and it can get very expensive. Once this wood is gone to there, bleach and mildewcide and just wood brightener, sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't, and it could be a rabbit hole that I've gone down multiple times, and I really try to save the homeowner some heartache and some money. So decks, if we were to do decks, we just clean them very well and we stain them. We do not use the Thompson's water seal. Whatever was on these decks before has grayed, and we don't use that stuff at all. But they are definitely yeah, it's probably definitely time. But good pressure wash. We don't chew the wood up, and then we just stain it. And we use Armstrong stains, Armstrong Clark. They're made over in Sonora, and they're an amazing product. Very good product. We only use the best stains as well. Again, you know, it's just one of those things we found that the more you know, you put into your actual materials, the less elbow grease you have to use. Everything we do is 2 coats though. Every single thing is 2 coats. All of our prep is included. All of our materials are included. We do not raise our prices at the end of the job. We never invoice you for more unless we run into something that we had no idea, you know, that was happening. Now, granted, if you know we run into some wood rot or something to that extent, then you get a video of it and pictures, and we explain why we think there might be some damage. Speaking of damage, it looks like you might have a little bit of a roof leak right through here, but again, like, we would not be able to bring that wood back to normal. This gutters looks like it's lean in here. Let me take a look. So all doors are basically done with all doors are done with a semi-gloss. We love to paint them. We love to do the 2-tone colors, and we can have a lot of fun with it. Wow, that gutter's low. But hey, if it works, it seems to be working. The deck here doesn't have watermarks. And then obviously we trim everything. Like this guy here, and these would be trimmed. Underneath, we usually just clean really well. Underneath, and like new wood, so there's no this deck has been rebuilt recently, probably the last, what, maybe 8 years, 6 years. So we come through and we do that. Obviously all the firewood, we move it, we paint. All doors, like I said, painted one color, the color that you guys pick. All the prep is done through here. Garage door looked pretty darn good. Yeah, looks fine. And then under here, we just clean this out. Now, granted, we do these supports, you know, we do all that stuff, but we just clean this usually unless someone specifically asks us to paint it. It can be expensive, so we tend to shy away from doing the underneath and talking people into it, because it's underneath a deck. And I have a feeling, although this is a really cool house, this is probably not where you're going to be doing a lot of entertaining, so there's no reason to go to the utmost on that. We can stain them. Like, some people like to be able to look up from the street and their house to look a certain way. So we use a semi-solid oil-based stain from Armstrong, and it looks really good. I mean, we can make them look really good, but you know, usually if money's an option on it, which it almost always is, we try to talk people into you know, not spending the money underneath there. We do paint these guys in. There's nothing worse than seeing the boxes. We spray them with auto primer, and then we let it dry, and then we paint it into the color. No issues on any of the high stuff. We have all of our own ladders and scaffolding. We don't rent that stuff. We have all of it. So pretty easy stuff. Like I said, I've done a lot of these, and we can definitely make this one look really good. It's time. And we are, like I said earlier on the phone, we do have openings in right at the end of the year, right at the end of our season. And I don't book too far into that season just in case winter shows up early. I don't like to push people back a year. It's hard enough right now trying to explain to people that we barely have any time left to book the season. I'm not going to explain a whole year shift. So, so I'll a la carte the decks. I can also a la carte the trim work if we decide to do that, and I can a la carte underneath the decks. And hopefully this video helps explain any of this. I know the terminology is weird. I've done 3 bids and worked a long day down in Murphy's and Hathaway Pines. So if any of the terminology or any of the ideas I have, if I'm not explaining them well enough, please just give me a call or email, mention a point on the video, and we will go through it piece by piece with you guys. It's very important that communication for us as a business, that we keep that communication open with everybody, because we love to we love to do this. We love to turn these houses around, and we love to find really cool colors that aren't browns. So from the sounds of it, you guys have some ideas. So thank you very much for the chance to look at it, and I will give you an email with a bid this evening. Okay, thank you.